real flat, very windy. The time I went through Wisconsin, very cold. My van had crappy windshield wiper blades. Um, it didn't have a lot of heat. So those kind of drives are scary because you really don't have good visibility. Um, you feel like your vehicle is going to be going off the road. You're not 100% sure where you're going to go. All of these things create real life anxiety. And then you're not sure if your vehicle's going to break down because the ball joint on my van broke when I got back to my street. So my front left wheel, I believe, was towed out to the left. So basically, my van decided to break down the street from my house. I was going through Wisconsin in the winter. I was driving on Interstate 94 in a snowstorm. My van could have broken down there and I would have been stranded. So God was definitely watching out for me. But that goes back to maintenance. If you don't have the money, Jay, I'm talking to you a second. If you don't have the money to get good tires, good brakes, windshield wiper blades, windshield wiper solvent, have your exhaust system checked, then you really should think twice about getting a car. Because God will give you what you want. If you really want a car, God will bless you with a car. Boom, you'll have a car. Jay, I guarantee if you go to the church and say, listen, here's my situation, pastor or minister. I'm trying to get a job. I'm trying to help my family. I need a car. I need a vehicle. It doesn't have to be the newest. It doesn't have to be the best, but I need a car. I guarantee, Jay, that the pastor minister say, you know what? Let me call some of my parishioners and other fellow clergymen in the next county over. Guess what? We got a car for you. But you got to go get it. You got to get insurance, and you have to have registration. So now, Jay, your car problem is solved, but the next problem is you don't have a job. So that car, you could probably go get it, get a temporary license, get it home. How long is it going to sit there? You still have to have a job. I'm just being real with you. So you got to get that JOB. Listen to me. You got to get that JOB before you can be with me. Because my mom and dad always said, don't mess with anyone who doesn't have a job, who is not equal. So Jay, you got to get that job. Okay? I'm in a cold weather region. It's very cold right now. You're in a warm weather region. You got to get back and forth to, I don't care, McDonald's, Wendy's, I don't care. You got to work. Okay? You have to work. But you got two problems. You got three. One, your vision. Two, getting a car. And three, getting a job. I'm just being real with you. So I can help you much as I can. If we both pray and put our hands together, get this young lady a car. God, help her find a job. God, if she's truly worthy, God will make it happen. But you got to go get that boy. You got to go get it. Because it's not just going to drop into your lap. So, Jay, what I'm telling you, go to your local church. Because the church is there to serve the community. Let's keep talking about anxiety and learning how to drive from a 19 to 39-year-old. We keeping it real today, people. You got questions, you drop it in. So let's talk about this fear of driving. I told you I was coming back from Wisconsin. My van broke down the street from my house. I'm like, wow. Literally, the ball joint broke off and my tire was sideways. That could have happened when I was traveling at 60 or 70 miles. I would have crashed. Okay? You don't understand. Cold, snow, and ice. Okay? Your wipers don't even work anymore. Your heat is so high, but it's still not enough. And when you have these cold winters, if your car's not roadworthy, you won't make it. Your car's going to break down. And your mom and dad may be hundreds of miles away, and you got to be ready. You got to have the right clothes on. hat, boots, gloves, because you might have to get out and walk. No one's just going to up and rescue you. Hey, my car's broken down. I know the next motorist is going to help me. No, they're not. You're going to have a motorist who's going to do more harm to you than good. I always think of the good in people, but there are people out there who don't have your best interests in mind. That's the way I was taught. I always try to see the good in all people. Amen. If you with me, and amen, and give me a thumbs up. I will help anyone, but you got to be careful because people will prey on your kindness and weakness. Okay, so that one story was a true story. I went to Wisconsin to this chassis convention to learn about tuning race cars, and I got lost. Then I found myself again. I was an hour late. So these stories are true. You got to be ready in case your vehicle breaks down. Okay. And you got to have extra money in your pocket if it takes more gas because you're using more gas than you think. Real talk. I'm telling you, real talk. Okay. Next, misunderstanding road signs. I was driving a client this weekend. They didn't know what a warning sign is. Warning signs warn you of hazardous conditions. They didn't know what a cloverleaf sign is. You can be one of the best teachers in the world, but if your students don't study road signs, pavement markings, it means nothing. This is why you need to be enrolled in a formal driver's education class. Your teacher needs to be going over road signs, driving situations, routine maintenance, having good tires, good brakes, because that's one of your responsibilities as a driver. If your brakes and tires are sketchy and you go on the road and crash, that's your fault. Why would I drive a car whose tires are really bad and then I need to go on the highway and drive 12 hours? I'm going to have a blowout. I'm going to be stranded. I don't want to rely on the kindness of others. My dad taught me that. My dad was from Alabama. Boy, you rely on yourself. That's what he told me. I'm like, okay, Dad. Right? Rely on yourself. Okay? Have extra money in your pocket. Don't rely on a debit or credit card because that could get demagnetized. You better have some cash in your pocket and a credit or debit, and have some hand tools and another coat and jacket. Okay? Because you got to be prepared. Even a new car could break down. So I'm always ready just in case that car cuts off and I'm in the middle of nowhere and I'm like, who am I going to call? Am I going to have to jump a fence? Am I going to have to walk a couple miles? Is it in the summertime and I got my booty short? No, it's in the summertime and I have my shorts on. Or is it in the wintertime? Am I dressed properly? You feel me? Am I ready to go? Or is this something I could fix? Or did I knowingly drive my car or truck knowing that it was going to break down? I'm not going to put myself in that situation. Some of you will put yourself in that situation because you're so desperate. I got to meet him. I got to meet her. I got to get to this job, knowing your car's going to break down. Come on, home team. Why are you doing that? Don't do that to yourself because you're setting yourself up for failure. Okay? Real talk. I've been Saudi, right? Driving in Saudi and bad roads. Drives in my country every day, driving through all type of conditions. Haven't been to Saudi Arabia. I've talked to some people from the UAE.